Welcome back to Prison Architect. My name's Kit, and as you can see, I changed up the build just a little bit here. I didn't like the one we were doing before with it right in the middle. We'll be going over the tools and all that. When you load up your prison, you'll have to, when you start up the game, you'll have to reload your prison every single time, and you will also have to, and I've already done it, delete the CEO's list again every single time you load up the prison. There's also a couple of bugs on after loading up that I'll have to, when we get that far, I'll have to show you that, so you make sure that you check them. So I was playing over the weekend, and I noticed a few things that I've fixed here in our general makeup here. As you can see, a fence going in across the street. As you start to employ workers, and especially kitchen help, if you don't have enough cooks to come in and get your supplies out of the delivery areas, the prisoner employees will come to get your deliveries out of the delivery area here. And as you can see, the delivery area is outside, and I do believe I've tried in a test build to make it inside the prison fence, and the trucks didn't stop to drop anything off. So I'm assuming it has to be outside your prison fence. Your guards will open up the doors and let the prisoners out, even though their intentions is to do work before they leave the fence. Once they hit the outside, they decide that escape sounds better than working, and 99% of the time I think I've had one worker go and get the box he came for and go back in. All the rest attempted escaping. And without this fence across the road here, it is a very short distance to get across the road and get away. So I just threw in a fence across the street here, so they have nowhere to go but down the road. And as you can see, they've got a long way to go to get down the road, so the guards have more time to attempt to chase them down. So that's what that fence is for, in case you're wondering. So let's get, they're still building up the fences, but we are going to lay out these foundations. And I'm sorry if this not being straight here bothers anybody's OCD. Eventually it probably will completely and totally mess with mine, but for right now, it's fine. What we're going to have here is we are going to have, I was going to make this one big building, but since it's going to have doors on both ends, I decided to basically turn it into two mirrored buildings here. We're going to have, this is going to be our visitation center, this is going to be our holding cell, and these are going to be the starts of the offices we need, with the warden and the accountant, our security chief, and our foreman are going to have these four offices here. So we've got that done. Now a little, and you want to make sure, like I said, that you have plenty of ways to funnel your prisoners from having direct access to your door, because your prisoners, even though your doors stay locked and the guard needs to open them with a key, if the prisoner is waiting at the door to get open, and so are your workers, your guard is going to open your door, and the prisoners are going to have the ability to leave. So you just want to make sure you have enough doors to funnel your prisoners through, so that they don't necessarily have that ability to be standing there at door when the guard opens it. And I'm not sure, depends on what we put up over here, so I'm not sure if I want to block off this here and make them funnel through those 3 doors. Because that, I might put a staff-only door here for like my kitchen workers and that, so that they can get around and bypass the 3 guard doors. But for right now, there's our holding cell. We are going to build, and this is probably not going to end up being big enough in the end, but we're going to build our kitchen and our canteen, and we're going to put it right here, and that is going to be the size of the entire size of the other 2 buildings. I'm trying to think how wide I want it. Not that it matters. Make it that size. And of course it needs a door. Okay, we'll put it here. And then we want a staff door, because it's going to be split. This top part here is going to be our kitchen. So we are going to put a staff door up here so that our cooks can get out, and I'm going to make this area over here. You always want to designate at least some area of your prison as storage. This allows for overflow from the delivery, and also I do believe I was saying in the last video, if you don't have storage, when they're building something and there is excess materials, instead of leaving it all over the prison, they will return the things to storage. I'm going to speed this up as we already have a bunch of foundations and they are still on the fence and stuff like that, so we've got a lot of stuff crammed in our deliveries here. But this is going to be our kitchen / eating area or canteen. I'm going to put the yard out here. It doesn't have to be big, it just has to be outside, and it has to be closed off by at least 1 door. So we're going to throw that right there. One guy's going to build this whole building. He's super worker. Now we are going to, once we get our warden in and that, we are going to do some of the unlocking with bureaucracy and the research pretty quickly into the game, because to build a large prison like this, we are going to need cash flow. And although you do get grants of $100 per prisoner that are in your prison, that is a very low cash flow considering the expenses of your staff needed for each additional prisoner. So because of that, we are going to unlock prison labor as soon as we can, so that we can make some money to be able to continue to build and flesh out our prison. But for right now, we're going to go to the utilities section here. We're going to grab some electrical cable, and we are going to run a basic electrical line through these buildings here. I know that up here we'll direct the power more because the stoves in the refrigerators in the kitchen need direct line electricity. They also take a lot more power from your power station. So you want to pay attention to, if you see this on your power station, this red line, greenish red line here, the higher the red line goes up, the less reserves of power your power station has. You can alleviate this by putting capacitors the entire way around your power station. Once you get capacitors all the way around your power stations, you cannot boost that power station anymore, and you will have to create a new one. So you'll just want to pay close attention to how much usage you have on any particular power station, because if you overload your power station, it turns off and your entire prison then becomes thrown into darkness. So and dark prisons are well, dangerous prisons. So that's always bad. I'm going to put another large door here. And there is a reason why I didn't put these ones across, and I'll explain when we go either to put the stuff into our canteen here, or okay, I'm going to slow this down now and do some planning, either when I go to put in the stuff in our canteen or a little bit later. Now I'm going to flesh out with the planning tools some cell blocks here. And let me think, to make the cell blocks the way, where's the yard? There it is. 1, 2. To make the cell blocks the way I like to make them, they are 7 by 31. And I'm just going to go skip to and create a whole row of these. Like I said, we don't have to once we've planned it, we don't have to build it. I just want to see what the layout will look like. And each one of these cell blocks will hold 8 prisoners and house a shower. So it's, for me, I find it convenient this way. Now the prisoners don't always come in packs of 8. In the test build I was using, I actually had 38 prisoners arrive in one day. That was a little hectic trying to get enough cells to house all those before they decided to riot and burn my prison down. They tried. I had a couple other glitches with the laundry system, which we'll discuss when we get a laundry system up and running. I had a couple of glitches with that helped instigate riots. Unfortunately, it took me like 30 in-game days to fix the laundry glitch that's either there or one that I had inadvertently created for myself. And I had a couple of riots along the way. It was fun. So I will explain those to you when we get to the laundry room and hopefully help you avoid 30 days of very hard work to get your prison back. Okay, those are going to be cell blocks. Not all right away, but it's nice to see them planned out there. Now, if you notice, we have some extra area here. We could make an extra big yard, and I might actually do that. I'm not sure. But what do we have here? We have our visitation room, 4 of the offices we needed, our holding cell, our kitchen and a canteen. I'm going to leave right now this area open because we will need more kitchen and canteen area if we fill all these cell blocks. So yeah, you know what? For right now, just so that I don't build on it, I'm going to make the rest of this yard. Oops. Just so that we don't build on it yet. We may have plans for it in the future. No, that looks stupid. Why would come all the way up to like the other side? Okay. Now we've got to run basic power. Oh, it just doesn't have any lights. Now if you look up in our to-do list here, build a holding cell, we've kind of got that. We need to go in with our brick walls, and if you notice you go into materials and brick walls, it will give you the capacity to do inside walls. We need to go through and we need to cordon these up with our inside walls here. So we are going to do that, and we are going to add another door for each of these two offices, and also cordon off our kitchen from our eating area. And I want 4, I believe 4 open areas. We are going to throw that here, and then put, because we're going to have prisoners working in here, we're just going to put a regular door so that they can go in and out. Yes, you don't necessarily want prisoners having that much access to your kitchen, but I'm going to show you how to fix them misbehaving while having that much access to the kitchen. We've got, okay, rooms. We're going to have this, as I said, was going to be our visitation room. And if you go and you designate rooms like this, you'll notice if you hover over it, it tells you what, most of the time, unless it's over something different. There we go. Get rid of this stupid to-do list. Let's move it over here because it's in my way right now over there. If you hover over it, it tells you what the requirements for each room is. If you go to make a room and it doesn't meet the requirements, it will have this exclamation point, and why have you guys not? Oh, it's not that you didn't install my lights. Oops. It was that I don't have yeah, I blocked it off, and I don't have any power going into this office. So we'll just do that and get some power into this office. Okay, now if you notice, I have exclamation points here. We were going to make this the canteen, and this the kitchen. So we're going to go through each room individually. Okay, our room requirements for our holding cell are at least, minimum, a toilet and a bench. So we are going to put in a couple toilets here, and we are going to put in a bench. And just because we are a nice architect slash warden slash dictator, if we have any prisoners that get stuck in the holding cell for any length of time and we don't want to listen to them complain, we are going to put some beds in here, because if they have no place to sleep, they will be very rambunctious, for lack of a better word. And the toilets you see that we put here, they need plumbing, so we're going to run a large pipe there. Now, small pipes are great for connecting fixtures to your large flow pipes, but you cannot run water through them for very long. Obviously, the skinnier the pipe, the less pressure, so the less distance the water can travel. So you'll want to be aware of that when you're laying your large pipe, the distance that your small pipe will be able to travel and still carry water. That should be plenty fine distance there. So we've got them. They're going to be installing our toilets. We've got a bench. We've got some beds. So that one will be done. Let's move to the visitation room. The room requirements for a visitation room is just a visitation table. And we are actually going to put in a couple. There we go. Auto-saving. Okay, and oops. This door, because it's a visitation door, I am going to make sure is locked open. Now the doors won't work right now until either you get guards in your prison or you get actual prisoners in your prison. I'm not sure exactly what triggers the doors to start to work, but it's nice to go through and say, okay, well, this will be a bottleneck here. We're going to need to leave this one open, and these here, as a matter of fact, will become a huge bottleneck, and we are just going to lock those open. We're going to, believe me, we're going to make this canteen much more secure in the near future as soon as now office, and we want to get started on our research and our bureaucracy right away. So we are going to at least give the warden his office, and it needs a filing cabinet, an office chair, or an office desk, and an office chair. And to rotate the objects once they're on your mouse, you press the middle mouse button. I'm not sure if I mentioned that before. And it will rotate them around. Everything does have basic general compass point direction it faces. You have to pay attention. You may have to scroll in to see exactly what direction it is. We are going to add a couple of capacitors here and wait for them to install them, because our next thing is we are going to do the kitchen, and that requires the cooker and the fridge, and the cooker and the fridge take direct power and a lot of it. So we are going to, like I said, add a couple of capacitors just to make sure we don't blow our power station there. And this power station, this power station will probably end up only lasting us through a couple of cell blocks, quite honestly, before we will have to get a new power station. That is why I would like to get cash flow moving as fast as we can. The first thing we're going to unlock is finance, and right now she has an accountant has no real purpose in the game, except for she will allow you have to be careful when you do your bureaucracy, when you close it out, that you don't accidentally hit bang up and not realize it. Your prisoners get very upset when they're in lockdown. But anyway, about the... Really, you wanted to go up there? But I put the office stuff all down here. Bureaucrats. I should have put you in there before I put all the crap in there, shouldn't I? Of course I should have. Yeah, not that I wouldn't have to furnish that office eventually anyway. Anyway, the accountant allows you to hire, until you get an accountant, you have a daily budget that you cannot exceed for wages and staff and that is whatever your prisoner intake and your federal grants allot you. Like right now our federal grants allot us, I think it's $1,500 a day, and we have 8 workers, so we would be allotted to be able to spend, as long as you have the cash to buy them, we would be able to spend on 7 more $100 a day employees. Now what the accountant allows you to do is go into the negatives on your daily allotment for your daily net value of cash, as long as you have the cash, this gold number up here, your bank balance, as long as you have the bank balance to be able to afford the employee your daily allotment, which isn't up here yet because we don't have the accountant yet. You can exceed your daily allotment and go into negative numbers there. You want to be very careful about negative numbers in your bank balance or low numbers in your bank balance, especially once you get like your workshops and that open. If you're having issues with riots and stuff in your prison and such. I'm talking and my workers are standing here doing nothing. We're going to have them build this first. While I'm talking, we'll build this first cell block here, so that at least they're earning that money, that virtual money I'm paying them. Anyway, the repairs for the prisoners, breaking stuff, sheet metal for when you get a workshop going and are starting to make money, all that, and food to feed your prisoners, all that takes money throughout the day, so you want to be careful how much balance you have in your bank, which is real cash, supposedly real cash here, that's not considered out of your daily allotment of inflow and outflow of daily cash. That is your actual bank balance. You'll want to be careful how much you have there and not go too low. But that is all the accountant really does at the moment, is allow you to outspend your daily means. I'm hoping in future builds or in release she will be able to, as you run your prison more, she will be able to give you possibly access to more grants or stuff like that. We will have to see. Okay, now we are going to flesh out our kitchen here. We're going to throw in a cooker and a fridge, and we are going to put in a sink. Now the cookers, like I said, the cooker and the fridge need direct power. The sink needs water, so we are going to run this pipe up further here. And I am going to, I don't know if, honestly, that will be too far to run it, so I'm going to run, since we're going to need water coming to our cells here anyway, I'm going to run it from here and run our small pipe, and we just actually happen to put our cooker right where our electrical line is running, so we will have power to our cooker the moment we put on it. Don't have to reroute anything. And like I said, when we put the cooker in the fridge in, we'll pay attention to our power station here and see if we need to add anything else here. Now I'm going to pull this up here and bring another line down. That's not where I want it. Bring another line down here to our cell block, and we will need to have some water pipe run down here. And we're going to have, cells have toilets in them, so we are going to need, we're going to have toilets and showers. We're going to need these pipes here. Eventually, I know in my head what my build will look like, so that makes it easier. Okay, now our kitchen is a kitchen, and as you see, it's knocked it off on our to-do list. Now we need, what does our canteen need? The canteen actually only needs just a serving table. That is all it needs to make it a canteen. I always throw in two. I don't know why. I just do. But there's a problem with only putting a serving table in your canteen. This is your lunchroom, dinner room, whatever, where your prisoners eat. If you notice, there is no place for them to sit down and eat. Now you can fill it with just benches. They will take their tray to a bench and sit down and eat at a bench. But we are not living in third world countries. We can afford to give our prisoners tables and chairs. So that is what we're going to do. We don't need a lot right now because we won't have a very large influx of prisoners at first, because we want to allow a small amount of prisoners to come in, test a couple of things we'll talk about in the next episode, our regime, our how to balance needs and stuff like that before we open the prison and start taking in a lot of prisoners. You'll want to make sure you have a pretty fair understanding of your prisoner needs and certain things before that happens. Okay, our warden is done with our accountant, so we're going to next security, because security, you need both the chief and the foreman to be able to have prison labor. So, but we're gonna put the accountant. Is she gonna want that office? Of course she's not gonna want that office. She's gonna want the office that doesn't have anything in it. Again. Not that she really... Actually, she doesn't even really need anything in her office because she doesn't do anything, like I said. But we are going to not be mean, and we're going to give her office crap. They can't cooperate. Okay, well, this is the basic start. We've got to start going here. We've got our holding cell done, our yard, our kitchen, our canteen. We won't be hiring the guards or the chefs until right before we get our prisoners here. As you can see, we threw in the account, and now we have a daily cash flow of $300. We have $1,500 coming in, $1,200 going out. $800 of that is in workers. The rest is in the warden and the accountant's income. But like I said, she will allow us to go into negative daily cash flow as long as our bank account balance can afford it. So I am going to leave that here, and next time we will flesh out our cell up here and discuss our warden's doing. Discuss prisoner employment, the next one, because I've got this nice little area up here. I think I'm going to use, or maybe down here, for making the stuff to employ our prisoners, to put them to work for us rather than just being a tax on our tax dollars. So that will be all for today, and thank you for watching. You guys all have a